The following program contains scenes that may be upsetting for some viewers.
When you are a paranormal investigator, you can't touch the subject of your experiments. You can't interact with it on a physical level. So to come out exhausted and in pain and, you know, to be affected in this way, even long after we're done, I think is a very, very strange thing. But then obviously there's also the emotional side. You know, when you do something like this, if you're not open to it, you won't be affected by it. Because emotion is what carries through, even beyond death.
And we're just documenting that Brian is recording all of this on his digital recorder as well. So anything you hear, you can verify.
Exactly, we can
Review the cameras, even if the cameras are far away.
energy.
I heard that too.
Just trying to come here and feel my mouth starting to shift. It's as if
Are we getting close to your
James
energy?
wants to come through direct voice. We did get a lot of hits, and from my work I was able to give James and some of the babies the peace and the completion that they needed.
Oh, your thing is going crazy. That looks like a mobile phone though.
Just moving,
You're off.
They're all off.
They're all off.
All our mobiles are off, and we've already
Back,
checked with this camera.
Wow,
The
okay.
camera does not
back
affect this.
Because there's a surge of spiritual energy that's just come in to join us over here to the right.
And I'll just test that by putting this against the camera, and there is absolutely no
Just got a
activity
surge of
whatsoever.
And all of
just
our
coming
phones are on
forward.
airplane mode. Nothing could be affecting this.
Did you feel anything then as that came in, Kieran?
Do we have? Is James still here with us? Do we still have James with us here?
Yeah.
Medic.
Medic?
Medic.
Did you require a medic?
Just heard that, yeah. Thank you.
Position.
Yeah.
Position.
Position or position.
It's like the legs
Position.
twisted.
Oh, position. That makes sense.
Were you a physician? Were you a medic?
I think it's worth pointing out that the two men who actually died and are buried in this cemetery from the Battle of Trafalgar died after the Battle of Trafalgar from their wounds.
From wounds. And we
They
don't
didn't die on
really
the
know.
battle itself. Anyone who died at the battle itself would have died at sea.
Yeah. Now there's no way of knowing whether they died from head or leg wounds or bleeding out, but likely, bleed out for sure.
There may be some information in the British Museum, something like that. But it was interesting because I remember Sam sort of doing certain channeling work, and we were able to sort of trace back and look at some of the tombstones and some of the names on them, and we could kind of verify what she was saying there. And then
Tell you what, whilst they carry on here, let's go and check out the names on the board.
Yeah,
over
go
there.
for it.
James, definitely.
Anything after 1805 with a J on it.
But there were moments during Trafalgar Cemetery where we got some pretty incredible evidence. The name James came up, and we found a tomb just moments later with the name James on it, just meters away from where we had been standing.
If you focus the light on that way, you can't really see it, but if you shift, these letters start appearing. And you can see it right there.
James,
I'm not sure it's...
yeah, you can see it here.
Right, that's James Dooley. And I can't quite make out his rank here, but it looks like it's Major. Can you see Major there? And departed on the 15th day of October 1801, aged 20 years. And it didn't always have the same care. But we found out James.
the evidence of a little child that came up in when Sam was channeling was confirmed just minutes later when we found the tomb of a little baby.
Your name, please. Could you give us your name?
Evelyn or Evelyn or Evelyn. Ow. I'm just starting to spike me a bit. Come on, I know.
We're here with respect, we're here with love.
I know what I've got to do. I've got to come off the earth.
Help! Did you hear that?
Yep.
That was like a shout.
I've got to come off
Do
the earth.
you want
because
us to help you?
Can you guys just move forward and just bring that in? I've got to come off the earth. There's something about it, like the magnetic frequency was grounding me too much back to earth. Right, here we go. Now I've got to.
Do you want us to help you?
Ow! Through me. Through me, Evelyn. It is the tummy.
Do you have lots of pain in your abdominal area?
See, ow!
See.
Come on, sweet. This
I
was.
heard muerte earlier.
Ow!
We got a number of hits with names that came on the tombstones, but the most interesting one was when we first walked in that area where both Sam and myself were pulled to. There was a little tiny tombstone, but we never actually really looked at it. We didn't take any sort of notice of it. And Sam started channeling, I believe it was a young woman, and she then said about the young woman was looking for a child, that there's something about a child had died as well. And we were just going with that, and we were going with information, we were getting information through the echo box.
Sam can help take you up to the light.
Evelyn, are you still feeling unwell?
Again, help. It came through the interference.
And again, it just came so clearly. You know, Sam was nearby, but she wasn't. She was, you know, you could clearly hear her in the audio, separate from this word that came through. This soft, almost sultry voice that came through.
Is it literally just behind him?
Just. Well, they're all here, but the main one who we've been connecting with is just here.
If there's someone behind me, can you tap my shoulder?
Just trying to push my hands.
I'm starting to get a bit of a headache here.
Just behind me.
Can you confirm how many people are around Sam right now?
8. I heard 8.
All of a sudden, for no reason, Jonathan just bent down and looked at the tombstone, and it actually, I don't believe that, I can't remember what the name was that was on it, but it was a young female and a child. And it was just one of those strange moments where we were stood in a random spot where we were pulled to, right next to the tombstone. We had no idea what it was, and it just happened to correspond with what we were talking about. But there were the tombstones that we looked at, and we were getting names, and I believe we got some names through the echo box as well that correspond to what Sam was saying and the actual name on the tombstone.
You were saying earlier on, yeah.
But this was a lady who kind of been pushed and put in the grave, like rape or the baby had the plague. There's that type of anything from that lady.
Them.
Affecting you as well.
Down there.
I felt like I was being pulled.
2 months
Yeah.
and 19 days.
It's about the nature process that
Yeah, definitely.
Right, Evelyn. I've done Evelyn for me.
So that was, for me, that was the highlight of the night. We had a near miss with a light phenomenon, but that turned out to just be a bit of glare.
Come on, I can see you.
La
We just
luz.
need more information from you. Can you confirm we're getting more spirit coming forward? I can see 38. Can you confirm or speak the number?
Something.
Sorry?
I just saw something
38
on the.
on the.
Just- on the screen.
Like a light?
Whilst I was holding that little camera, I saw a little purple globe outline the figure of Sam as she was as she was channeling a spirit. And immediately I said to myself, and I said to everyone in the group, guys, I've just seen something on camera, I've just seen something on the little screen, and we need to check this out later.
And we thought, or what we thought we saw on camera was some sort of light anomaly, an orb, and it seemed to move in relation to how Sam was moving. It seemed to start off behind and move down her arm, and moved with her arm, and we got very excited, because we thought we'd actually caught something. But it goes to show that you cannot just take some things in the paranormal field as for granted. We had to try and debunk it, and obviously we were a little bit overexcited because it did look strange on the small screen. But obviously when we analysed it and when Jonathan looked into it a bit more, it just turned out to be a lens flare.
If you've ever been to the Alameda Gardens late at night, you'll know it can be a frightening place. Next week on The Ghost Trail, you'll find out how frightening it can get.
Who's here?